Hi there, and welcome to another episode of RU News. I'm Abbey Higginbotham, and we're here to bring you news from around campus and Kansas City every Tuesday. With coronavirus cases growing more and more every day, all non-essential businesses have been shut down for the time being. With that, many college students who have worked those jobs are finding themselves unemployed. Haley Sakuma spoke with UMKC college students who have been impacted by this about how they're handling the situation. We go to Haley with more.
I'm Haley Sakuma, and I'm sitting down today with Ezra Stanley to discuss being an essential worker amidst COVID-19. How are you today?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm good too. Thank you. So, where do you work? What's your experience been like?
I work at Whole Foods, just the one right next to campus off of 51st. And it's been crazy to say the least. There's been a lot of rush, kind of as especially during the beginning of this, everyone came in, to overstock and stock up and everything, and then business then immediately dropped and everything. So it's been unpredictable. We've been trying to go with the flow. Whole Foods especially, like we kind of double as almost a restaurant in a lot of aspects. So a lot of those, like the hot bar, everything like self-serve food items wise has all been shut down. So that's been a new change.
What advice can you give the rest of the population for when they go out to grocery shop?
I would just say treat it normally. Don't. Part of the reason that no one can get, like, for instance, toilet paper right now is because people buy toilet paper. Like it's a self-fulfilling problem that it's like, we overstock, but then now nobody else has it. So then we have to overstock again, and then everyone floods in, and it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So if everyone kind of shops normally, I know it's definitely difficult during this time. You want to feel prepared. You want to see a full cabinet. You want to feel a sense of comfort and normality during all of this. But it helps everyone in the mix if you just shop how you would normally shop.
Okay. Well, I think that's really good advice, and I appreciate you sort of giving your insight on the situation. And I want to thank you for sitting down with RU News today. We appreciate you for staying at work, and I hope you stay healthy and well.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much.
Thank you. I'm sitting down with Jared Abrams today. He is a student who was recently laid off because of COVID-19, and we're here to discuss how that has affected his life. How are you today?
I'm doing all right. I got laid off. I worked as a line cook in a jazz bar called the Phoenix, and I had a pretty good time there. Pretty much everybody I know, for the most part, got laid off relatively recently, except for the people who were more self-employed, but they're just kind of struggling right now.
How has that sort of affected you being so young? And obviously this is very unexpected. Nobody saw this coming. How has that affected your life as a student?
It's hard because I feel like I really need to dig into the unemployment website a bit more, because after I finished applying, I thought that I'd get an email or something, and I read through the pamphlet a bit, and I know I have to kind of check in there every now and then. But I really feel like I remember actually my friend Austin, who worked at the Phoenix, told me that he also applied, and he thought he did something wrong because he wasn't getting any information sent to him. And I'm kind of in a similar boat. I need to check back on it, but truth be told, with everything going on between school, unemployment, keeping track of the actual virus, and honestly just kind of debating whether or not I should just get a job at Amazon, it's a little hard to just focus on one thing.
Have you gotten word on when you'll be able to go back to work? Are you going to go back to the Phoenix? Or are you going to look for something else entirely?
If everything does end up all right, I should be getting my job back. But there's no promise on when that would happen, or really, I don't know how bad it can get before I'm not allowed to get back to my job. So that's about where I'm at on that.
All right, Jared, thank you so much.
Thank you.
UMKC students now have the option to convert their spring semester letter grades to credit and no credit, according to the decision from interim provost Jenny Lundgren this last Friday. The changes comes after MU implemented a similar system last week. Contrary to pass-fail systems being implemented at other universities across the country, the use of credit, no credit at UMKC is at the discretion of students themselves. The credit, no credit option will be available to students in all undergraduate and graduate courses, while availability in professional degree courses is at the discretion of program leadership. With over 300 student-led organizations, student life on campus has taken a direct hit when campus decided to cancel all their events for the rest of the year due to the coronavirus outbreak. Upon hearing the news that events could no longer take place, many student organization leaders felt upset for seniors who would now be left with less time as active members. Henry Gamber interviewed some student organization leaders. We go to him with more.
I'm Henry Gamber with Rue News, and we're here with FiredUp KC's Zik Nganga. Zik, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. It's chilling at home. Nothing too stressful.
All right. So as all students are in quarantine at the moment, student organizations are looking to still stay active. How is FiredUp KC staying active?
I mean, honestly, we're actually starting our first show today because we do the interviews, but my interviews right now are going to be more focused on the COVID-19 pandemic. And today we are starting off our first virtual interview with the Chancellor. And I got to find out that actually that's the first time the Chancellor is actually speaking to any media platform since, UMKC switched all classes online.
Okay. And what would you say is the biggest challenge for student organizations at this time?
I mean, certain organizations, we focus on the meetings, we focus on connection with people. But now that you can't even have a gathering with more than 10 people, I think so. It's kind of hard, being that everything we do is all about connecting with other students. So I think that's the major problem. Me personally, I have an event called the Shift KC that is like the big event that I have on campus, and it's like we can't have that right now. So I'm trying to plan of a way to make it more virtual. So I think it's just being able to connect with people is a hard thing. Everything now is on Zoom, so it's like you can't really meet with people. You can't really interact personally with people. So I think that connection is more the hard thing to do when you can't see anyone right now.
And if you had one piece of advice for students in quarantine right now, what would it be?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would say this is the best time for me personally. I would say everyone should focus on themselves right now because you are home, you have all this time. As much as you have all of the schoolwork to do, which is not going to be a lot, but just being able to just stay home, pick up a book, read a book, start being creative with your phone. You have a phone in front of you, just use it, start creating content.
All right. Thank you, Zik, for joining us. We are here with Jessie Martin, the head of events for her campus. How are you doing, Jessie?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. So can you talk about how her campus is staying active during quarantine and making sure there's still events during this quarantine and online space?
Yeah, so we've moved a lot of our events online. We're having our meetings online, and a lot of people are able to attend those. We're going to have an online Netflix party, an online game night, and we're going to have an online awards at the end of the year to kind of make up for our formal that got canceled, which we're pretty bummed about, but we're really excited about the awards night that we're getting ready for.
Do you think in the future this kind of switch to online will impact how student organizations run meetings in the future? Do you think we'll see student orgs doing just online?
I think there may be some online, if there's a quick thing that needs to be said, or maybe just a 10-minute meeting that goes on, maybe that might switch to online. But I think organizations really do crave the human interaction, and people enjoy seeing people face to face. And I think a lot of times that's why organizations are made to have those interactions and have that feeling that you and these other people all care about the same thing and want to do it together. So I think most of them will stay together, and maybe a few things might go online, but not all of them.
If you had suggestions or advice for other student organizations that might be trying to figure out how to have online events, what would that suggestion be?
Yeah, so I think a lot of the word floating around is normalcy. So I think keep your normal scheduled meeting times. Definitely do that. And then I also think just like have fun with it. I mean, we're doing a Netflix party, right? That's not something that a student organization would normally do. Like, just have a fun event for your students. And I think nothing's going to be normal now. Nothing's going to be the way it was before. And I think the more that we can try to make people get through this easier, it's going to be a lot faster if we just are with each other through this. So yeah, definitely do a next Netflix party. Do something fun. Do something that people will kind of take the weight off of people.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thank you.
All remaining students who live on campus have been moved to Johnson Residence Hall. Many students have expressed concern about putting all students in one building. Hayden Irving talked with current residents about how they feel about this big move. We go to Hayden with more.
Tell me a little bit about your experience moving out of Kansas City in the dorms due to Corona.
Definitely fun. I didn't expect that my college career was going to take place from my house. That's why I moved to Kansas City. Obviously, no one has control of the situation and stuff like that, and I completely understand as to why everyone was moved out of the dorms. It makes a lot of sense, for safety, and we're kind of all packed in there like sardines anyways, so I'm not mad or anything. It's just I'm more annoyed with the whole situation, just because I wasn't expecting to have all online classes,
Yeah. And how are you adjusting to that?
It just feels like spring break has gone on too long, and I'm having trouble staying in the academic mindset of I have this homework, I've got to do this, I've got I have a lab that's online, and I don't even feel like I'm doing lab work. I feel like it's just obviously it's an obligation, but I feel like I don't know. It's just hard to focus on my schoolwork, basically.
That's understandable. What's been, in your opinion, besides the academic standpoint, the biggest transition from dorm life and campus life to being isolated in your home, basically?
I think a lot of it is just mental, knowing that, yeah, I can obviously go out and do whatever I want. I could go to the store, touch everything. I could hang out with friends, do whatever. But just knowing that I shouldn't or that I can't really is kind of rough. It feels like you're just kind of trapped almost. I think it's definitely going to take a lot more adjustment, and I'm kind of getting used to it at this point. But 3 weeks staying home kind of messes with you. I don't know. I think I'm definitely different from whenever we first started quarantine. So,
what is life in the dorms during this pandemic like?
Very quiet and very boring. No one's around ever.
How has this changed your normal?
Well, it's made classes a bit tougher, but I'm still getting through it. It's nothing too crazy.
And what is a resource on campus that you miss the most having?
Does Chick-fil-A count as a resource?
It does.
Then that's what I miss the most.
The food services?
Indeed.
Okay, thank you.
There were recent allegations that UMKC waited 4 days to inform the student body of a student who tested positive for COVID-19. The allegations came from Louise Lynch, the mother of the infected student. In a recent interview with the Kansas City Star, Lynch said that she told UMKC administration that her daughter tested positive for the virus on March 21st. An email notifying staff and students of the positive test was sent out by the university on March 25th. Director of the Media Relations, John Marlero, disputed the allegations, telling U News that the university did not wait 4 days before releasing the information about the infected student, and instead informed the community within hours of receiving the information for the first time from Public Health Department on March 25th. We will be updating you more on this story as more comes in. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of Brew News. I'm Abbey Higginbotham. See you next Tuesday.